Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandy and Jody.
Hello, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandy. I'm here with my sister, Jody.
Hello.
So I have some people who made things that had nothing to do with them, all about them, from the internet. So this person tweets, "My husband and I wake up every morning and bring our coffee out to our garden and sit and talk for hours. Every morning. It never gets old and we never run out of things to talk about. I love him so much." That's nice. That's a nice tweet. Then someone replied, "What was the purpose of this post except to make me feel terrible about myself?"
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Jealous much?
Seriously. This person posted a picture of a inflatable water slide that they obviously got for their kids. And someone commented, "Spoil them, that's why we have them. Also, I see your inflatable pool and raise you a $50K in-ground pool and hot tub for my teenagers." What the fuck?
What? Seriously?
Okay, this is a 1-star review for a hospital. "I'm sure that the hospital is a wonderful facility, but my rating is based on the fact that the blank has numerous delivery trucks rolling down blank at high speeds, shaking my very bed and rattling the windows as early as 6:30 a.m. This wakes me up without fail. When I attempted to contact hospital administration, they told me I would have to contact all the delivery companies and the blank to lodge a complaint. Many of my neighbors have this problem as well. Hospital, you have a responsibility to the neighborhood you are in, not the other way around. If you contact your delivery companies, reroute them to blank only. Maybe try doing the right thing for once."
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow. This is a post about, it says, "Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico announced that they are now married." Which again, that's very cute and nice. Someone commented, "I'm really worried about the direction of our world. My ex-wife left me and our children to be with another woman, and now this? I'm currently having trouble dating because so many women are done with men. It's not really fair. I used to be a supporter, but now my views on LGBT is changing.
God.
I wonder why women are done with men."
Couldn't imagine.
Weird. Okay. This is a post. It says, "Good morning, folks. We will be closed today. We have been battling the heat in our little shop all week and decided to give everyone a break from it today. Our crew has been working hard and it can get pretty hot in there. Despite the AC unit in the lobby and the portable unit, Saturdays are our busiest days. The hustle that goes into making the day happen can be draining when it's hot. I'd rather they get some proper rest, have some proper fun, or proper lounge somewhere cool. Thanks for all your hard work, team, and thanks for the support, patrons. See you tomorrow." That's very nice.
Yes.
And then someone commented, "Wow, taking a break on the busiest day? What is that saying? If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Guess that's true."
Oh my gosh.
And then, I guess it's a burger shop. They say, "It's been very busy all week. Burnout is very real in this industry. We have someone on vacation, so a few folks have put in extra hours this week as well. Their well-being is a priority to us. The financial hit isn't something we're excited about, but actual humans work for us. They aren't robots. They deserve to be treated with regard despite the opinions of others."
That was a good response.
I know, that's great. But yeah, what a douche. Oh my gosh, how dare they take a break. It says, "This person got mad when babysitter realized she was getting taken advantage of." Post says, "I'm livid. Blank has been babysitting me for 7 months now, $100 a week. The hours are easy, 9 to 5, like a regular fucking job. And the kids are basically angels. They sleep most of the day anyway at this age. I get a text from her saying she's applying to Walmart and that she can't afford to work for me anymore. She's not paying me anything. I'm paying her. What do you mean afford? Have fun working longer hours for less pay, you ungrateful bitch. And now I'm stuck without childcare. All the daycares in the area are super expensive, and every time I have posted an ad on a local buy and sell, people have left really mean comments. I'm getting desperate. I can't believe she'd put me in this spot. This is risking my livelihood. I thought she was my friend.
How much did she say?
$100 a week.
For watch, and it sounds like it was more than one kid.
9 to 5.
Whatever.
More than one child.
What?
And she feels betrayed.
Oh, stupid bitch.
This person who failed to realize that a huge snowstorm would most definitely affect trash collection.
God.
They post, does anyone know why the garbage trucks aren't running? We set all our bins out on Monday evening for our usual Tuesday trash day. Here we are 3 days later. They are still sitting full on the curb. I even made sure that they were spaced evenly for their convenience. It's getting really frustrating, and we have had to throw bags in the garbage because there's no room. I'd like to go to the Baylor building with extra bags, but my lunches are too short and I can't make it. And that was cut off. And then someone posted, who the fuck are you? It's a damn blizzard and I see garbage men out and stand them up. Quit throwing so much shit away and you'll be just fine. Oh, that's funny. This future bride who wants to put her fiance's 5-year-old daughter up for adoption.
What?
Says, I want my fiance to get rid of his 5-year-old daughter. Hello. Please keep me anonymous. I need some advice from your followers. My 32-year-old fiance has a 5-year-old daughter. Her mother passed away when she was giving birth to her. He's been raising her ever since he lost his wife, with the help of his family. I am now in the picture, and we're going to get married in 2023, and I'm 6 months pregnant with his son. I'm not the stepmother type, so I know I won't treat his daughter the same I will treat our son. To be quite honest, she annoys me. She looks exactly like her mother, so she consistently reminds my fiancé of his dead wife, and she is very attached to her daddy, which makes me afraid that my son will not be able to bond with his father because of her. Basically, I want to tell my fiancé to get rid of her. She can live with her grandparents, or we can find her a nice couple that wants to adopt a child. I don't know how to approach the situation, but I need to find a way to convince my fiancé to get rid of her. I'm not a bad person. I'm just trying to look out for my son and make sure that he will get all his father's attention that he deserves. Please help.
Oh my God.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I hope he did not marry her.
Me too. And it disgusts me that we are in the world with people like that actually think like that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Was there a response or anything?
No.
Oh, I bet I can imagine the responses to that.
Yeah, it was. The comments were probably turned off pretty quick because
probably
nobody would have anything nice to say about that piece of shit.
No, not at all.
This neighbor who became obsessed with a car that had no effect on them whatsoever, and then, as a very appropriate response, called the cops. So this is a text conversation. It says, hey there are a few people on the street who have complained about you leaving your car on the road. I thought you'd want to know. Hope you're doing something good this weekend. And it says, thanks for the heads up. It was so the kids could play basketball. So is it technically not allowed? Then they respond, I believe it's a fire hazard for emergency vehicles. Then they write back, interesting. My mother-in-law got a warning when her car was sticking into the street. Ours were not even on the pavement. I guess if somebody else complains to you, please suggest they talk to us directly or go ahead and call the police. And they write back, even if it's off the road, it's a narrow street. I was letting you know so you weren't surprised if you got a call from the police. And they say, cool, thanks. And then there's a police report, 5:32 p.m. Police received a complaint that a car parked on blank would be in the way if emergency vehicles needed to get through. An officer investigated and determined that the vehicle was completely off the road and not a hazard. What an idiot.
Mind your own business.
Oh, yeah, seriously. This person who clearly doesn't know what Twitter's translate button is. They write, it looks like a text or like they DM'd them directly.
Mm-hmm.
It says, please speak English. And then they write back a question mark. And then they write back a question mark. And then they say, who the fuck are you? I'm literally German. I will speak my language. Then they say, how the fuck am I supposed to read your tweets if they're in German? Then it says, go learn another language then? Usually my tweets don't revolve around you, so fuck off.
That was great.
Yeah. And this person who thought tennis is greater than people's lives says, has anyone else been hearing fire trucks drive down Maud All Lane with their sirens on? I swear my cable internet lags every time and I can't stand it. I'm trying to watch the U.S. Open. Fire trucks for lease use an alternate route. I think they meant at least use an alternate route. Mm-hmm. And then it says, yep, this afternoon, just a few minutes ago, seems to have happened several times this week as well. And then they write again, why don't you swing by the station and let them know you'd prefer them to use a different, likely longer route? Idiots.
What an asshole.
This person who expected a luxury hotel experience during a hurricane. This looks like Facebook. Hi, we are stuck during the storm like the rest of the folks. I've seen posts about Disney hotels and that they are taking care of their guests. I was hoping we would receive the same or at least close to it staying at the Marriott Swan Hotel. The dinner time was horrible here. Hotel not prepared at all. Wait time was 3 hours at 4 p.m. for food. You couldn't take food out and had to eat at the restaurant after waiting 3 hours. We tried ordering room service and went through only to have it canceled 20 minutes later. I know they're short-staffed and it's not a good situation for anybody, but they had time to prepare and have something like pizza and nuggets to feed the kids is not big to ask. Sorry, needed to vent. Oh, and then someone commented, it's not too late to delete this post. It's a natural disaster. The staff is having to work taking care of guests instead of being with their families during this time. Be thankful. It's so totally just like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
This totally missed the point person who saw that a middle school was in lockdown and thought it was a perfect opportunity to complain about kids having phones. Comment, I wish my son would text me that they are okay. And someone else commented, wow, I had no idea kids were allowed phones in school. That's really ridiculous. God. This neighbor that is bothered by a tree. So my neighbor had this tree. It's not really in my yard per se, but it's 2 doors down. Every day I come outside to see it, and it honestly takes up too much room. I think I'm wanting them to cut it down as it's pretty unsightly. I've left them numerous notes, but they've told me to stop coming over there, and their tree isn't affecting me because it's not even close to your house, quote unquote. I've never heard such entitled opinions, and it shows what kind of people they are truly. All I asked was to remove it. I've called the city and asked if I own, and they asked if I own the property, which I don't, but that's not my problem. It's my neighbors 2 doors down. They said they'd charge me and couldn't sign off on it. Does anyone actually do their job anymore? I would appreciate your love and support. This person's insane.
Okay, this week I did something a little bit different. I did 13 creepy and disgusting websites.
All right.
So, number 1 is the Internet Pathology Laboratory for Medical Education. You don't have to look beyond the human body itself for some disgusting imagery. Our first gross site catalogs human organs in various states of health and disease. Have a look at the systemic pathology section for organs in the systems of the body, or general pathology for types of diseases and injuries.
Seems very interesting, but not something I would want to look at, I don't think. I think that would be a good website for like medical students.
I think that's what it's for.
Yeah. But like Thank God for doctors because I could not.
Oh, no way.
It'd be horrible. There's no way.
Even like, especially like the like foot
Oh my God, yeah. And,
doctors.
like butt doctors?
Oh,
Oh my God, what?
yeah. Or a gynecologist.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Seriously. Any like touching people or being in the general area of other people is uncomfortable for me. So.
Yeah, I would not make a good doctor.
No, me neither.
Number 2 is Skin Sight. Feeling itchy? Have a look at Skin Sight to view pictures of rashes and other skin conditions. Enter an age group, sex, and body location, and you'll see images of common rashes for that area.
That's interesting. So that's like if you have a rash, you can look and see. Like,
Which I've
compare
actually
it.
done that before, but I didn't know about this website.
That's nice. It's kind of nice to have. So you don't have to go to the doctor, maybe,
Yeah.
and see what you got.
Number 3, insect images. Hate creepy crawlies. This website provides plenty of insect pictures for you to peruse. You'll find beetles, ants, cockroaches, termites, and much more. If you're feeling especially daring, check the bottom for images of spiders, scorpions, and other frightening creatures.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm
not.
not.
Even staring at pictures on the internet would creep me out, I think. That and like under ocean
Ew,
pictures.
no.
They creep me out. I can't look at them.
Yeah, those creep me out big time. I could probably look at the insects and not.
I probably could, but
But
I
no, I
want
don't. I don't like the ocean thing.
to. No, anything underwater creeps me out.
Yes, me too.
I don't like it.
Number 4, poop senders.
Excuse me?
In a list of nasty websites, you shouldn't be surprised to see one about feces. Poop senders, as the name implies, allows you to purchase doo-doo and send it to your friends.
What?
Choose from cow, elephant, or gorilla dung to send along in a special care package. If you can't decide, opt for the combo pack. You would have to really, really hate somebody to do something like that.
A giant thing of elephant shit? Oh my God, that is fantastic.
I could
actually.
definitely see dudes doing this to each other.
Here is a nice package of gorilla poop for you.
And gorilla poop has to be closer to like people
Oh,
poop.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They probably would think you took a shit in a box and sent it to them. For sure.
It's not mine, I swear.
You think it has a nice note about the gorilla that gave you this lovely gift?
It's got little, corn pieces in it.
Oh my God.
Apparently, this is legal, though we can't imagine many people would be happy to receive a package of crap.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Number 5, Texas Department of Criminal Justice death row information. The state of Texas publishes the last words of all death row inmates that it executes. You can read a basic profile of the offender and their crime under Inmate Information, then click Last Statement to read what they said before their death. This one falls more under the creepy and disturbing banner rather than being purely disgusting. It's certainly unsettling to read the final statements of those who committed heinous acts.
That is creepy and disturbing. Like, why would they take the time to record those people's last words? Like, what?
Maybe it's more just like for history or,
Maybe. But why those people? Like, I would rather hear what some nice old lady, what her last words were to her family, other than some murderer that got executed. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but there's so many people that they're just curious. There's people out there that try to figure out what causes people to be the way they are.
I guess.
And maybe that gives someone some kind of insight into why they did something. I don't know.
Maybe. That's crazy.
Number 6, plane crash info. Continuing with the last words theme, this site collects information about planes that crashed due to mechanical issues, sabotage, or human error. You can browse the 100 worst plane fatalities of all time, read about unusual incidents, or browse a map of crashes. The most disturbing content on this site, however, is on the last words page. This collects transcripts and audio files in some cases of the dialogue exchange spoken in the cockpit shortly before the crashes.
That's terrifying.
That is not something I would want to listen to at all.
I think I would listen to that.
No.
Oh, that's one of the... I think I would actually look at that one.
I can't do it.
I don't know why I do that to myself. I really don't.
Number 7, death date. Ever wonder how long you'll live? The scary website claims it can predict the date of your death. Enter your name, date of birth, sex, height, and weight, plus whether you use tobacco, alcohol, or drugs. Using this, it will figure out how much longer you have left to live. Of course, there's no way that a simple web form like this could know when you're going to pass, but it is a bit creepy to stare at exactly how much time you supposedly have left.
Yeah, that's too creepy for me. I wouldn't do that.
No way.
Didn't they make a movie about that?
I think so.
I think they did. I think it was some app or something that they downloaded, and I think something killed them when the timer went off, but so it took a creepy turn, but
Yeah,
I think they made a movie about it.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Number 8, Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was a well-known religious cult, mostly due to the group's mass suicide in 1997. They believed that by leaving their bodies as Comet Hale-Bopp approached, they would be able to board a UFO trailing behind the comet and ascend to a higher level. Does that sound right to you? Comet Hale-Bopp?
Yeah.
Okay. As it turns out, the Heaven's Gate website is still up and running. 2 unknown surviving members of the cult maintain the website, though it hasn't changed since 1997, when it received an update right before the suicide.
That is crazy. I want to know who's running that.
I don't know. Have you ever listened to that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Crazy motherfucker.
Fuck yeah.
It's unsettling to read through the material on the site decades later, knowing how its followers met their end. You can read excerpts from the cult's book, as well as transcripts of speeches made by the leader just days before they all died. The contact email from the site still sends responses, too.
That's crazy.
That's really creepy.
I want to know who's running that shit. Wonder if someone actually still believes it. Because one of the main guys convinced, was it Applewhite? Jim Applewhite? Is that the guy's name?
That doesn't
I don't remember what the guy's
ring
name.
a bell.
Anyway, they were like, dude, someone needs to stay behind and tell our story. And he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So that guy didn't drink the Kool-Aid. So I wonder if it's that guy, and he still totally believes. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? That would be so creepy.
And that was the one too where didn't towards the end people were wanting to leave,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't let them.
Yeah, there were babies crying and people wanting to leave, and he made them feel like shit if they wanted to leave.
Fucking asshole.
I think there was violence involved too.
I think so too. Yeah.
It's a fucking cult.
Number 9, a Columbine site. Here's another unsettling site about a terrible tragedy. This resource collects all sorts of info about the massacre at Columbine High School that happened in April 1999. You'll find data on the victims and shooters, along with surveillance photos, audio logs, details of the aftermath, and much more. It's horrifying to read the gritty details of such a deadly event, but this disturbing site is worth a look if you can stomach it.
No.
No, thank you.
That is too sad.
Yeah,
sad for me.
I don't want to, no. Number 10, World Births and Deaths. This page acts as a visualization of all the births and deaths occurring around the world. After it loads up, you'll see a stream of icons pop up on the globe to represent every birth and death. As you might have guessed, this is a simulation based on trends, not a real-time feed of actual events, but it's uncomfortable to see death popping up so many times right in front of you, especially if you uncheck show births and only watch deaths.
That would be unsettling. Not something I would want to do.
No, I mean...
You'd have to be real fucking bored.
Yeah,
to do
I can find many, many more pleasant things to do
Yeah.
with my time. Number 11, and this is just the letter Y 7 times.
Okay.
Looking for strange links to send your friends, this bizarre website is a strong contender. It's not a particularly gross site like some of the others, but it gets points for being outright weird. Every time you refresh it, the page loads all kinds of random images and text, along with sounds in the background. It's a great page to send to a friend to mess with them a bit.
That's weird.
I wonder how creepy it is.
I don't know.
I might have to check it out.
I was thinking the Willy Wonka tunnel and Charlie and the Chocolate, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know, like creepy images popping up, just random and weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Number 12, the Skyway Bridge. Florida's Sunshine Skyway Bridge is one of the largest sites for suicides in the United States. Strangely, you can find an entire website dedicated to this. It holds information on each suicide attempt that's happened on the bridge, stills from security cameras, and resources about what people are doing to stop the deaths. It's oddly specific and sad to peruse, just like the other death-related pages listed here.
That's sad.
I've never heard of it, I don't think.
I was thinking that too.
Because, you know, you've heard about the suicide forest in,
Yeah.
I don't know where,
Isn't that
it's in
China or something?
something like that.
Tokyo or something?
And then the bridge where all the dogs jump off.
Yeah.
I've heard of that one, but not this one.
Even the San Francisco, what's that one? Brooklyn? No, that's not. What's the one in San Francisco that everyone jumps off of?
Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah, Golden Gate Bridge. I thought that was a big one too.
Number 13, creepypasta. If you're well-traveled on the internet, you may have heard of creepypastas. These are made-up horror stories that people create to scare others. Slender Man is a well-known example. If these sound fun to you, suspend disbelief for a while and browse creepypastas to your heart's content on this site. You'll certainly find something to shock and disgust you.
Those can be kind of creepy.
Yeah, but I like real story, like real people's
Yeah, I do
ghost, ghost or whatever stories
too. Yeah.
better
Oh, yeah.
than something made up.
Well, that's why we read them every week. That's
yeah.
nice.
Well, that was all I had.
All right. Okay, I have some just creepy stories. It says UFOs, Bigfoots, and other paranormal things. So, creepy stories. It says I lived in a funeral home and we had speakers to hear if anyone was downstairs. We'd hear slamming doors and footsteps only to find no one there. Creepy. Could not live in a funeral home.
No way.
Next one, I lived out in the middle of nowhere for about 10 years. I'm a smoker and a night owl. I smoke outside. So I've seen some strange things. But the one thing that gave me chills and baffled me was a black oblong shape, think cylinder or thermos, floating through the sky. It was darker than the night sky behind it, utterly silent, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I recall the night being completely silent too. No crickets, cicadas, nothing. Just silence. This was in the middle of summer, and I told my family. They just shrugged their shoulders.
I wouldn't want to see that.
No, that's too close.
Mm-hmm.
Too scary.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, my family and I were in the White Mountains of Arizona to cut down our Christmas tree. My dad was driving our truck with my grandpa in the front seat, and my mom and sister were in the back. I was in the bed of the truck along with our family's German short-haired pointer. We were driving along the forest road, and all of a sudden my dog starts barking and growling. So I looked to see what it is, thinking it might be a bear or mountain lion. What I saw was a tall, dark figure walking parallel to the road about 60 to 70 yards away. I yelled at my dad to stop the truck. When I told him I think I see Bigfoot, he just laughed and continued to drive. When I looked back to get another look, the figure had changed directions and was walking away from the road. The last thing I saw was the thing's head disappearing down a hill. To this day, I still do not have an explanation for what I saw. Every time the situation comes up, my dad always makes me tell everyone my story just so he can laugh at it. That's mean.
That is mean. That's so rude. Why do people just dismiss what people say?
I don't know.
All the time.
I mean, honestly, if you saw it yourself, you would have a different opinion. You know, like, just if you don't see it yourself, maybe you just don't believe. I don't know.
But I mean, I would have at least stopped and looked around.
I know. I would too, but yeah, I don't know. He's probably scared.
Probably. It's like, oh no, we don't see that. We're leaving.
Haha, I'm just driving away. Nothing to see here. Next one, I was camping in the Rockies and was stargazing and spotting satellites. I found a satellite and tracked it for a while. Eventually, it halted and switched directions. No one believes me, but I saw it. No, I wasn't high, drunk, or tripping. It was a very clear night, and I was sober. Maybe there's another explanation, but that night, it was an unidentifiable flying object to me. Next one, my dad and I were hunting in the mountains north of Idaho City. It was about twilight, and we were hiking back to the car. We began to smell something terrible, like burning bone and hair. It was the worst stench I've ever experienced. The smell got worse as we kept hiking. We could hear what we thought was someone or something running at a great rate of speed from behind us. My dad grabbed me and held my face to his chest and dropped to the ground. I held close to him as the running got louder. Dad readied his rifle. I heard him say, "Oh no, son, stand up, walk with me, look at the ground." Terrified, I stood. Stupid me turned around and looked. There was the remains of an elk. The head looked like it had been put in a blast furnace. The hair on the body was all singed. The hooves looked melted, and the running sound was gone. We moved closer to the car, and it was now nearly dark. About 100 yards from the car, we heard the running again and froze. All of a sudden, the forest lit up like noonday. We heard a very loud whoosh, and it was gone. The forest was dark, and it was quiet. Dead still. We booked it back to the car, threw our gear in the back seat, and drove. I kept my head down and just cried. My dad was stoic and silent. Halfway out of the woods, we saw the light again, bright as ever, but just for a second, and then it was gone. We made it back to Idaho City and stopped at the Gold Mine Grill to regroup. Went inside, and there was another hunter in there. He looked at us and said, "Y'all seen that shit?" He just stared and drank.
So what was it, like an alien running around out there?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. And like the elk got caught underneath the ship or something as it was floating away, or I don't know. That's creepy.
Weird. Before you go to your next story, so you know how we're always talking about deer?
Yeah.
Like that get up and run and whatever weird shit they do?
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast, and I don't remember which one it was, but they were talking about something that people called not deer. That's the official name that people call them, not deer.
Oh my God.
So it's a thing.
Oh my God. That is beyond creepy.
I know.
What?
It's like, okay, if they're not deer, what are they?
It looks like a deer, right?
Yeah. Usually they say it looks like a deer, but there's something off about it.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I never see that.
Oh, I don't want to see no not deer.
Yeah, what she said.
You just stay in the forest where you belong.
Exactly. I won't go in there. You don't come out here.
That's right. Stay there. Not deer.
That is creepy. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Ugh.
I wish I remembered what podcast that was. It might have been Ghost Story Guys. I don't know.
I can't believe there's a fucking name for it.
I know.
Holy shit.
I was listening to it and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, next one. Mine was a ghost. I was about 19. My grandmother had died less than a month prior. We were having a family gathering unrelated to her passing. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up late watching some old Nick at Night reruns on our old tube. I drifted off on the couch around 2 a.m., partly wrapped in a rough green and brown homemade blanket from a friend that had made it for me. I woke up around 3 or 4 a.m., felt cold and groggy. I looked up and saw my grandmother. "Go upstairs and sleep in a proper bed," she says. "Get moving." I picked up my blanket and dragged it behind me up the stairs. She looked better than when I last seen her alive, but equally as insistent and daunting. I didn't dare refuse. Didn't occur to me until the next morning that she was, in fact, still dead, since this was the kind of thing she would do regularly before she passed. Next one, my mom was taking master courses when I was in preschool through first grade. I would wake up in the middle of the night and go downstairs to eat an apple and do a puzzle while she was studying. I distinctly remember floating through the dining room on multiple occasions on my way to the kitchen. I would scream for my mom, but she wouldn't hear. I would then wake up to my mom carrying me upstairs because she would find me sleeping on the dining room floor in the same spot behind the table. I was never freaked out till I learned the first owners killed themselves and their young son, who also had red hair, and his body was found in the same spot. I never thought anything of it until I looked up the history of the house, and my mom was visibly upset when I showed her. Oh my God.
That's weird.
That is weird. Next one. I was about 8. My sister was 6 or 7, and my family and I went camping about an hour north of Kingfisher Lake in northern Ontario. It was a routine camping weekend, fishing, hiking, fires, etc. Well, on the second day we were there, my dad was chopping some firewood and had asked me to go grab some kindling and to take my sister along. No problem. We went off. We made it about what I would say 100 yards or so away into a small clearing in the woods, within shouting distance if need be. I was gathering twigs and handing them off to my sister when I smelled a smell, the kind of smell that smells smelly. I swear to God, it says that.
They're so descriptive.
If I had to describe it, it was a mixture of wet dog fur, fish, pine, damp wood, and hot dog shit melting on a city sidewalk.
Ugh.
The smell was so bad it made my eyes water, and I suggested to go back, thinking it was a carcass, and if it was a carcass, that means there's predators around. I turned around to tell my sister we're leaving when I noticed something against a tree in the distance a few meters away. I for sure thought it was a bear, and so I panicked and ran toward my sister to grab her arm and get the fuck out of there. As I approached, though, I must have startled this thing because what was just a mass of undistinguishable brown something behind a tree stood up and turned so it was standing profile. I will never, never, ever forget what I saw that day. It is engraved too deeply into my memory that I will carry it for the rest of my life. It stood up, and I mean stood. It had to have been 8 feet tall. Its face was almost human-like, but with ape features. Sloped brow, protruded lips, and back of its head was flat with a cone-shaped ship like the top of a gorilla. I was frozen with fear, but wanted desperately to get out of there. I very quietly called to my sister, who was maybe 10 feet away from me at this point, still gathering twigs. "Let's go," Mom called us back. I slowly walked over to her, and my eyes locked on this thing the entire time. As I grabbed her hand, it fucking looked at me. It looked at me, and I'm getting shivers typing this. Its eyes were narrow, black, and terrifying. As soon as it all happened, it was over. It ran faster than anything I had ever seen run into the bush, and that was my ordeal. To this day, nobody I tell the story to believes me, but I don't care. I know I'm not crazy, and I know what I saw. I saw a Sasquatch.
That's what it sounds like.
That's creepy. Next one, it was around sunset, and I was just left my house to go visit a friend. As I was walking on the sidewalk, I saw this triangle-shaped craft hovering over a house. I froze up and stood there watching it hover for about 10 seconds or so. After that, it started to fly very slowly before taking off very fast into the setting sun. I unfroze and let out a scream and ran home. I used to tell my parents about it, but they pretty much dismissed it. They said if I don't have any proof, then quit bothering them. I was pretty young at the time of the encounter, so I have my doubts about the event, but I've never seen any aircraft that resembled that.
That was kind of rude.
Yeah, parents in these are rude. Next one. You know I've read some creepy stories from deployed men in Afghanistan. One of my students, I used to teach college courses, told me that he was on fire watch and saw a man approaching the base from an empty desert. He yelled at him to stop. The man bent backwards and started to dislocate all of his joints and crawl toward them.
Yeah.
They raised their weapons and the thing evaporated. The weird thing was that it registered on the heat detection until it disappeared, and several guys saw it. It wasn't just sleepy, stressed fire watch brain.
That
creepy.
is super creepy.
That is fucking creepy. Especially in the middle of a desert coming from nowhere. Oh my god, no.
And then it disappears?
Yeah, oh my god.
Ooh, I didn't like that one.
No. Next one, I was hiking in Goshen, Switzerland, when I was a kid, along with my parents and several of my relatives. We stopped to eat something along the way, and me and two of my cousins went exploring for a bit. We found several half-hidden holes the size of basketballs. The holes were completely dark, so we decided to start throwing shit inside to see how deep it was. We couldn't actually hear the noise of the stones falling down, but after throwing shit inside, we suddenly heard a voice from inside the hole clearly yell stuff in some weird language we couldn't understand. My cousin starts trying to talk with the thing. It responded in a guttural language, and that's when we decided to get the fuck out of there. Everyone decided to leave, and we told our parents. They said that it was the Burgeist, a mountain spirit that protects and lives under the mountains. Creepy.
That is super creepy. I wouldn't sit there and try to talk to it.
No.
If I heard something yelling.
I would immediately leave.
Yes.
And this is my last one. I was on a commercial fishing boat. Us and another boat saw this thing, a UFO. 10 feet above my head, silent, 3 lights, triangle pattern, size of a car maybe. Brightest lights ever that left no light on the deck of the boat, but was blinding to look up at it. That's weird. The UFO followed us for about 20 seconds, and then it literally vanished in the blink of an eye. Weird.
Yes,
And those are mine for the week.
All right. It's time for the witty wrap-up.
Yay, whatever.
This week I did something a little bit different. I did 19 smart-ass insults to destroy your worst enemies and, more importantly, your best friends.
Okay.
You're as useless as the UE in Q. Mirrors can't talk. Lucky for you, they can't laugh either.
Oh.
Hey, you have something on your chin. No, the third one down.
Oh my god, that's mean.
You're the reason the gene pool needs a lifeguard. If I had a face like yours, I'd sue my parents.
Oh.
Your only chance of getting laid is to crawl up a chicken's butt and wait.
Holy shit.
Someday you'll go far, and I hope you stay there. Aha! I see the fuck-up fairy has visited us again.
Yay!
You must have been born on a highway, because that's where most accidents happen.
Oh shit.
If laughter is the best medicine, your face must be curing the world. I'm glad to see you're not letting your education get in the way of your ignorance. Is your ass jealous of the amount of shit that just came out of your mouth? So a thought crossed your mind? Must have been a long, lonely journey. If I wanted to kill myself, I'd climb your ego and jump to your IQ. I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Nobody wants that.
When I see your face, there's not a thing I would change except the direction I was walking in. If I had $1 for every time you said something smart, I'd be broke. When you were born, the doctor threw you out the window and the window threw you back.
Oh my God.
And this is my last one. I love what you've done with your hair. How did you get it to come out of the nostrils like that?
What?
I love what you've done with your hair. How did you get it to come out of the nostrils like that? Obviously talking about someone's nose hair.
Yes.
And that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Send in your stories. We need them. ghouls.nightoutpodcast@gmail.com. You can look us up on Facebook, request to join the group, rate, review, and subscribe, and we will talk to you next week.
Later.
Bye.